What do you do when you love a game but it has problems? It has problems and the company behind it is ignoring you and the other players. For Honor players have genuine concerns about the state of their game, but according to them, Ubisoft doesn't care all that much. And now they're going to do something about it.
For Honor's player base is pissed off. So pissed off that gamers have organised a community-wide boycott of the online hack-and-slash brawler due to take place on April the 3rd. The boycott, called a Blackout by players, is a desperate collective effort to get Ubisoft to listen to their fans by not playing the game at all for an entire day. The event, organised by Redditor J Bayoon, I think, is meant to last 24 hours, but if players want to carry on longer, then they are free to do so, encouraged even. The end goal is to generate a response from Ubisoft and get them to address some of the many common annoyances currently plaguing the For Honor community.
Some of the issues players want addressing include the ridiculous microtransactions costing over $700 if you want to unlock everything. Player trolling is also a huge problem, as is poor matchmaking, which is too often putting high-level players in matches with newcomers. Players also want to know what Ubisoft have planned for the game's future, because the quickly dwindling player base has resulted in the fear that the game will soon be completely abandoned. Dissatisfaction with Ubisoft and their treatment of the game has been manifested in the community ever since release. But the lack of effort from Ubisoft and outrageous microtransactions were the breaking point for most players.
Ubisoft still seems to be really busy on this game. They're still pushing it really hard. I'm still seeing sponsored tweets on my Twitter timeline and stuff like that, and they're bringing in price reductions, discounts, just to try and push the game into as many players' hands as possible. But if you're not treating the gamers that are already there, the player base that you've already got, if you're not treating them right, then that's pretty bad. If you can keep your current fan base happy, you don't have to spend all this money on marketing trying to advertise it to other, because your community will do it for you. You f***ing idiots.
You said it yourself, they're busy.
Yeah.
They're busy trying to get more money. They're not busy fixing the games and the problems for the players, and that's what the problem is here. Players with the matchmaking issues, where they can't get matched.
Basic thing for a multiplayer focused game. I mean, how bad is the situation that this is this last resort kind of tactics that the player base is resorting to here? They're doing anything they can to just get Ubisoft's attention. They want something to happen, and it's direct action, and you've got to kind of applaud them for doing something about it.
Yeah, you do have to applaud them, and we always say, and we advocate on this channel a lot, is you need to send a message to these greedy companies when they're not doing you the right service. They rely on players. This is a multiplayer only game pretty much. Without the players, there is no game. There is no making money out of transactions. They have to look after the people playing, and they're not doing that. We totally stand with you guys for making a stand and trying, fix this damn game. They want to play your game, Ubisoft. Just listen to them and just make an effort. We should note that at the time of recording this video, there's been no response from Ubisoft, although there may have been by the time this video goes out.
In which case, here's the response. Okay, so since the time of recording, Ubisoft have issued a response on Reddit. They've released a sizable patch and they've announced a live stream to address community questions. In the statement on Reddit, a Ubisoft representative said, "I can confirm that the team went through all the points you raised and we will be addressing them. But it seems the Blackout could still go ahead." The original organiser, J Bayoon, added an update to his original thread on his plans for the Blackout, saying, "After reading many comments, it appears that most of the community believe that we should continue with the Blackout. This is a step in the right direction on the side of Ubisoft. However, the community seems to still want things addressed." It's pretty awesome that players have actually made some headway with this, and Ubisoft have finally listened to their requests. It just sucks, though, that they had to resort to this to get a response out of them in the first place.
Generally speaking, video game companies do a good job of communicating with and staying active with the fans. So when players organise a boycott just to get a response, you know that something's got to be wrong with your communication skills. That's pretty important here as well. This is an organised boycott. It's not just one guy saying, "I'm boycotting this game," which we see a hell of a lot of. Especially on this channel, when I'm boycotting
from this channel.
Nintendo products and such like. This is a concerted community effort. Like I said, a bit like the Arab Spring, where they all got together
We were
on social
workshopping
media.
this story, guys. It's kind of like the Arab Spring. What a comparison.
Power to the people.
You can
That's
compare
what I'm
anything
saying.
to
You know what I stand for, Mike?
Listen, Gamers are among the most vocal and reactionary group of fans of any kind. You could argue that a boycott like this is just kind of toys out of the pram entitlement, but I don't think it is. This is player power. This is player power in action. It's gamers exercising their power to get the publisher to listen to them. They're making their voices heard in the most effective way they can by banding together. They're letting Ubisoft know that it's actually not okay to shaft your player base by not supporting your game after release and attempting to bleed your players dry through microtransactions.
Ubisoft is not a shining example of consumer friendliness by any means. As is the case with most AAA publishers these days, they've pulled some distinctly anti-consumer shit. Ignoring 50,000 players across all platforms will not end well for them, and if they keep this up, people will not buy their games in future anymore. But they have proven themselves in the past to react to public opinion, if at least only for commercial reasons. They gave Assassin's Creed a year off after years of fan pressure to give the series a much needed break. They've also made a concerted effort with games like The Division long after release, and whilst it's certainly been a bumpy road on that game, they've done well to listen and react to fans, adding content and fixing the game. Let's hope that some of that actually emerges here with For Honor.
Yeah, Ubisoft are going online only with like all of their games pretty much. That's what they want. They want multiplayer, they want microtransactions, and they want players still playing their games for a long time afterwards. It's easy enough doing that and trying to strategize that and building your games, setting them up to do that, but there's a lot of support that's required afterwards as well. Community management is a big part of like online gaming and stuff. Ubisoft need to really improve in that regard and communicate more. This is almost all about communication. If they were telling the community what the status on these problems are, that they're looking into it, that they've got the teams working on it, if they were vocal about how things are going, I don't think they'd be in this kind of situation in the first place. On the topic of communicating properly with your community, let's take a look at some of your comments.
First up, on the Outlast 2 ban in Australia, Smurf Salsa says they legalise prostitution but they ban video games because they have sex in them. Australia sucks. Although one good thing Australia has got going for it is decent weather, which is more than what we can say about Wales. Let's be honest.
Australia does not suck anyway. Australia's great. It's got all kinds of stuff. Sports, they're good at sports.
Oh, Jake wouldn't like it. There's f***ing snakes in Australia.
Snakes. A. Martinez comments on our GameStop closes video. All retail stores are closing. Welcome to the economic collapse.
Wow, I thought we were negative on this channel, but wow.
That's kind of a point. All retail is kind of struggling, I guess. We're in a bit of a transition period, aren't we? Like everything's going online and stuff. So yeah, you kind of got a point. Maybe that's something to do with it. Just general decline of retail. Yeah.
Next up on last week's news roundup video, Gareth Evans comments, "Where's Gareth? Why is this guy so small?"
These fucking trolls, man, coming into our videos. Just poor Jake. What the fuck's Jake done to you, Gareth Evans? On the same video, Tom asks, "Jesus Christ, how tall are you, Mike?"
Tom from MySpace.
Yeah, I don't think I come into the room and everybody goes, "Whoa!" I'm not like that kind of tall. I'm like, God, you're pretty tall, aren't you? I'm that kind of tall.
It's like the camera. People say the camera adds 5 pounds or whatever. I think the camera in this case adds about
5 inches.
Yeah.
Not where it matters though.
And lastly, on last week's side of the show, Uncomplicatedable comments, "Watching this while eating a stroopwafel." Another great thing about stroopwafels is if you have them with ice cream, like I was in Belgium once.
So there you go, the For Honor boycott. Can you think of any other games that deserve this kind of action, this kind of community protest? Let us know down in the comments. Remember to leave a like and subscribe if you did enjoy the video. We've got more content right here for you and a link to Patreon if you do want to support us. We'll see you next time.